Imagine this. You're a high-ranking diplomat. Or, I don't know, maybe a senior military officer stationed somewhere like Berlin. You're smart, highly trained, and you take your security very seriously. So you're in a secure office, you're on your phone, and you're using Signal. You use it because everyone, the IT guys, security experts, even Snowden told you it's a gold standard. It's basically a digital nuclear bunker for your conversations.
It is. It's where conversations that absolutely cannot be on public servers are supposed to happen. End-to-end encryption. It's mathematical certainty.
Exactly. The math always works. But then your phone buzzes. It's a notification, and it looks official. Maybe it's saying your device is out of sync or there's a critical security alert about your account. It asks you to verify your identity right now to prevent a lockout.
Yeah.
You don't download anything sketchy. You don't click a weird link. You verify. You follow the prompt. And in that 1 second, without a single line of malicious code ever touching the encryption, the bunker door just swings open, and someone else walks right in.
And the really terrifying part of that story is that it's not from some cyberpunk novel. It is happening right now. That is the reality that's laid out in a major security alert that was just issued today, February 6th, 2026.
Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we are unpacking a report from BleepingComputer by Bill Toulas, and it sent a bit of a shiver down the spine of the security world. We're looking at a joint warning from Germany's Domestic Intelligence Agency, that's the BFE, and their Federal Information Security Office, the BSI.
Yeah, this is a heavy hitter warning. When the BFE and BSI issue something together, it's because they're seeing something that's systemic and dangerous.
And the headline here is that high-ranking officials, people who should really know better, are getting their secure identities hijacked. But before we get into all the spy stuff, I want to talk about the how. Because normally when we talk about hacking, we're talking about zero-day exploits, bugs in the code or some sophisticated malware.
Right, the Hollywood version, the guy in a hoodie typing like mad to break a firewall.
Exactly. But the BFE is so clear on this. They state, and I'm quoting here, a defining characteristic of this attack campaign is that no malware is used, nor are technical vulnerabilities in the messaging services exploited.
And that, right there, that's the aha moment we really have to sit with. The software is working perfectly, the encryption is holding up, the vulnerability isn't in the code at all.
The vulnerability is us.
Yeah.
The user.
Precisely. It really challenges our whole understanding of security. We think of it as a product you download. I have Signal, so I'm safe. But this report just proves that security is a process. If the human element fails, all the math in the world doesn't matter.
Okay, so our mission for this deep dive is to dissect exactly how this is happening. We're going to look at the two specific methods these attackers are using to get around the technology. One is a total takeover. The other is basically a wiretap. We'll look at the state-sponsored groups behind it, specifically the notorious Sandworm unit, and how these spy tactics are now trickling down into regular criminal scams that could target, well, you.
And most importantly, we are going to tell you exactly how to lock your own digital door, because the fix is actually pretty simple once you know where to look.
Okay, let's start with the targets. The report says this is a concerted effort. Who exactly is in the crosshairs?
It's a classic espionage hit list, really. The advisory lists employees of domestic and foreign authorities, military officers, diplomats, and this part is key investigative journalists all across Europe.
People who deal in secrets.
Exactly. High-value targets. And that's what makes the method so interesting. Usually, if a state actor like Russia, and we'll get to Attribution in a bit, wants to target a diplomat, they might use something like Pegasus spyware, these million-dollar tools.
The zero-click exploits.
Yeah.
The stuff that just sort of appears on your phone.
Yes. But those are expensive, they're rare, and they get burned once they're discovered. What the German agencies are seeing here is something much cheaper, much more scalable, and, well, apparently just as effective. They are using social engineering to weaponize the app's own features against you.
It's like having a bank vault that can survive a nuke. The walls are 10 feet thick. But the thief just puts on a UPS uniform, knocks, and asks the guard to sign for a package.
And while the guard is distracted, they just slip right past. That is a perfect analogy. They aren't cracking the lock, they're tricking the key holder.
So let's get into the mechanics here. I want to break this down because I think a lot of people assume, I wouldn't fall for this. The report details two attack vectors. The first one is what I'm calling the total takeover. How does that one play out?
Okay, so this is the aggressive one. It relies completely on creating urgency and panic. The attacker finds a target, let's say it's you, and sends you a message directly on Signal.
Okay, pause right there. If I get a message on Signal from Signal support, My alarm bells are already going off. Signal's a privacy app. They don't slide into your DMs.
You know that, and I know that. But in the moment, when you're busy, these attackers are sophisticated. They'll use the Signal logo for their profile pic. The account name is something like Signal Safety Team. And they send a message that just triggers that fight or flight response. Your account is about to be suspended, or we detected a login from Tehran. Verify now.
Okay, so my brain just flips into threat mode. I don't want to lose my account. I definitely don't want spies in Tehran reading my messages. I want to fix it now.
Right. You stop thinking critically and you start acting reflexively. And here's the really clever part. While you're panicking, the attacker on their device, maybe miles away, opens up Signal and tries to register your phone number.
So they've got a burner phone, they download the app, and where it asks for your phone number, they just type in mine.
Correct. Now think about how Signal works. The system has to verify that the person with that number is actually you. So the Signal server sends a standard SMS verification code to you.
To me,
Yeah.
the real owner.
Yes. So your phone buzzes, you get a text message, a real text from the actual Signal system with a 6-digit code.
Okay, see, that's where it gets tricky.
Yeah.
Because the text is legitimate. It's not some scammer number. It's the real automated system.
That's why it works. The code is real, but the context is fake, because at the exact moment that text arrives, the attacker messages you on Signal saying, "We just sent you a verification code via SMS. Please enter it here to secure your account."
I see. So they're piggybacking on the real system. I see the code, I see the request from support, and my brain just puts 2 and 2 together.
And gets 5. If you reply to that message and give them those numbers, you've just handed over the keys to the vault. They type that code into their device.
Then boom.
And boom, Signal validates it. It assumes the person entering the code is the owner. The account transfers to their device. And because Signal is designed for privacy and usually only runs on one primary phone, your session on your phone is killed. Instantly.
I'm locked out.
You are locked out, they are logged in.
They have my identity.
They become you. They can message your contacts, ask colleagues for sensitive info, tell your commanding officer you're running late, or, ask your mom to wire money.
That is the total takeover. Brutal, fast, and obvious after the fact because your app stops working. But the report mentions a second method. And honestly, reading the BSI warning, this one seems way more insidious. It's not a lockout, it's a wiretap.
This is the linked device attack. And yes, from an intelligence perspective, if you're a spy, this is much more valuable because it gives you persistence. You don't want the target to know you're there.
Explain how this feature is supposed to work. I mean, I use linked devices. I have Signal on my laptop. It's a great feature.
It is. It's for convenience. Normally, the desktop app shows a QR code on your screen. You take your phone, you go to settings, scan that code, and it authorizes the desktop to act as you.
So how do they twist that?
They use what the report calls a plausible ruse. They contact you, again, maybe as support, or maybe as a colleague whose account they already took over, and they say something like, "Hey, we need to resync your encryption keys for the group chat. Just scan this QR code."
And they send you a picture of a QR code.
Usually they'll direct you to a website that looks official and has the code on it. They frame it like it's just some routine maintenance task. Scan this to update.
And if I scan that code with my Signal app,
You're not updating anything. You are authorizing their device. That QR code isn't a download. It's an authorization token for the attacker's computer.
but my phone still works fine.
That's the scary part. Your phone works perfectly. Nothing changes for you. You go about your day. But somewhere else, an attacker has a window open on their desktop that is mirroring everything you do.
Everything.
Every one-to-one chat, your contact list, photos you send, they can watch conversations happen in real time. It's a digital bug under the table.
Real-time surveillance. And I would have no idea.
Unless you happen to check your settings, which, let's be honest, most people never do, you are completely in the dark. It's the ghost in the machine.
This just brings up such an uncomfortable point about usability versus security. We want these features. We want a text from our laptops. But those very features are the weak points.
That is the eternal trade-off, isn't it? Convenience is the enemy of security. Signal is built to be easy, so normal people will actually use it. But features like linked devices have to assume that if you're holding the unlocked phone, you are the authorized user. They assume physical control equals identity.
And social engineering just breaks that assumption.
Completely. It convinces the authorized user to do an unauthorized thing.
So let's zoom out to the who. The report points fingers at some very specific groups. This isn't just random scammers.
No. The German agencies, and this is corroborated by Google's threat team and Ukraine's CERT, their emergency response team, they link these tactics to Sandworm.
Sandworm. Sounds like a sci-fi villain. Who are they?
They're Unit 74455 of the GRU, Russian military intelligence. These are the people who turned off the power grid in Ukraine. They were behind NotPetya, the ransomware that cost billions. They are very serious players.
So this is military-grade cyber warfare.
It is. But look at the shift in tactics. Sandworm is known for high-tech, destructive code. Here, they're using low-tech psychological tricks. It suggests they're moving toward living off the land, using tools that are already there so they don't leave a big digital footprint.
Right, if they use malware, antivirus might catch it. If they use a QR code, that's just a feature.
Exactly. It's harder to trace, harder to block, because you are technically the one consenting to the connection. You clicked link device.
But here's the part that really worries me for the average listener. When we talk about these big state-sponsored groups, people tune out. They think, well, I'm not a German diplomat. Why does this matter to someone driving to work right now?
Because of a phenomenon we call trickle-down cybercrime.
Trickle-down cybercrime.
Yeah.
I like that. What do you mean?
I mean that what starts with the GRU eventually ends up on the dark web for $20. The report specifically mentions a campaign called GhostPairing.
GhostPairing.
Yep. This is a crimeware campaign that was caught using these exact same QR code tactics, but they weren't targeting diplomats for secrets. They were targeting regular people.
For what?
Money, mostly. Or data for blackmail. If they hijack your account, they can run the Hi Mom scam on your parents, ask your friends for emergency cash.
So the spy tool of 2026 becomes the common scammer tool of 2027.
Or sooner. Ghost pairing proves it's already happening. And we have to be clear here, this is not just a signal problem.
Oh.
The German warning explicitly calls out WhatsApp, too.
Right, because WhatsApp has the same functionality. Linked devices, QR codes.
Telegram, Viber, WhatsApp, they all share this basic architecture. If you can be tricked on one, you can be tricked on all of them. So if you're sitting there thinking, well, I use WhatsApp, I'm safe, you're not.
Okay, so the threat is real, it's invisible to software, and it targets the human mind. Let's pivot to solutions. How do we patch the human?
We have to adopt what I call a zero-trust mindset, even with our own devices.
What does that look like in practice? The report has some specific countermeasures. Let's walk through them.
The first one is just behavioral. We need to drill this into our heads. Signal, WhatsApp, Telegram, they do not contact you inside the app.
Never.
Never. They will never message you asking for a code or threatening to delete your account. If you see a message from system support, it is a lie.
Block and delete.
Immediately. Don't engage. Just block.
Okay, but we're human. We make mistakes. Maybe I'm tired. Maybe I'm panicked. What's the technical safety net?
Yes, there is one. And this is the one thing everyone listening should do right now. Pull over if you have to. You need to enable the registration lock.
Walk us through that. What is it?
In Signal, you go to Settings, then Account, and you look for a registration lock or set PIN. This PIN isn't just to open the app. It's a cryptographic lock on your actual identity.
And how does that stop the total takeover attack?
So remember, the attacker gets the SMS code because you give it to them. Without a PIN in, that's all they need. But if you have registration lock on, the moment they enter that SMS code, Signal will pop up a new screen that says, okay, great, now enter the user's PIN in.
And they don't have that.
Correct. They can't trick you out of a PIN that lives only in your head. The registration just fails. It stops the attack cold.
It effectively makes it two-factor authentication. SMS plus the PIN in.
Exactly. It's such a simple setting. Honestly, why it isn't on by default is a debate for another time, but you have to turn it on yourself.
Yeah, it seems like a complete no-brainer. Now, what about the ghost in the machine? The linked device surveillance. The PIN-in doesn't stop that, right?
No, it doesn't. That one requires what we call digital hygiene.
I kind of hate that term, but I know what you mean.
It just means regular maintenance. You have to actually check your linked devices list. Go to Settings, then Linked Devices.
I'm looking at mine right now. I see MacBook Pro last active yesterday. That's me.
Good. If you saw Chrome on Windows and you don't own a Windows PC or an iPad you haven't touched in a month, that is a huge red flag.
And I see something I don't recognize.
There's a button right there. Revoke or unlink. Tap it. It kicks them out instantly. The German authorities say to check this regularly. Make it part of your routine.
It's scary to think someone could just be lurking in there. But it's good to know you can just kick them out with one tap.
And that's the main takeaway. These attacks rely on you being passive, on you trusting a notification or never checking your settings. If you become an active user, one who verifies and checks, their whole strategy falls apart.
You know, there's a deeper point here. We've spent a decade fighting for end-to-end encryption, for privacy laws.
Yeah.
We built these secure digital bunkers.
And we won that battle. For the most part, the encryption is solid.
But this report just forces us to admit that the tech was the easy part. The human is the vulnerability you can't really patch.
It's the layer 8 problem. In networking, layer 7 is that application. Layer 8. That's the person sitting at the keyboard.
Layer 8. I like that. We're the glitch.
Attackers like Sandworm are realizing that breaking modern encryption takes, a billion years of computing time. But breaking a stressed out person who's worried about losing their account, that takes about 30 seconds of good social engineering.
It's just the path of least resistance.
Always. And as our software gets more and more secure, we're going to see more of this. More manipulation, more deception, more hacks that are just confidence tricks.
Okay, so to recap the battle plan for everyone listening. First, enable registration lock on Signal. Set that PIN.
Do it today. Do it right now.
Second, audit your linked devices. If you don't recognize something, kill it.
Be ruthless. If you're not sure, unlink it anyway. You can always relink your own laptop in 10 seconds.
And third, skepticism is your best antivirus. If an app that never texts you suddenly texts you with extreme urgency,
it's a trap. Just pause, breathe, and think. If Signal support really needed you, they wouldn't mind if you ignored their first message.
it's all manageable stuff. It doesn't require a computer science degree.
No. It just requires a shift in how you think. You have to stop seeing your phone as a passive appliance, like a toaster. It's an active interface that people are constantly trying to manipulate.
Before we wrap up, I want to leave everyone with a final thought. We mentioned ghost pairing, the criminal version of this. Do you see this kind of attack expanding beyond messaging apps?
Oh, absolutely. We're already seeing it with banking apps. This idea of user-initiated malicious linking is the new frontier. Why steal your password when I can trick you into authorizing my device as a trusted partner? This is the future of fraud. The user is the one clicking yes.
Which means the only defense is knowing what you're saying yes to.
Awareness is the only firewall that's going to matter.
Well, that is a sobering but really necessary wake-up call. We rely on these apps for everything: business, family, secrets. The BleepingComputer report and the German warning are a great reminder that privacy isn't some product you download. It's a process you have to practice.
Well said.
Thanks for unpacking this with me. I'm definitely going to go double-check my PIN after we're done here.
Stay safe out there.
And to our listeners, think about this. We spend so much energy worrying about hackers and hoodies trying to break through the firewall. But are you prepared for the hack that just politely asks you to hold the door open for them? In a world of perfect encryption, the only vulnerability left is your own willingness to trust. Stay curious, and we'll see you in the next deep dive.